Welcome back to the Grand Solar. There we go. Welcome back to the Grand Solar Minimum channel, guys. Happy Monday morning, December 30th, 2019. We got a little bit of stuff to talk about this morning on this morning update, and I'll give a full report tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, let's take a look at our space weather. Right now, our solar wind speeds are sitting at 291.8 kilometers per second with a density of 4.8. It's 3 days in a row now without sunspots, although we still see that bright region that is no longer a sunspot. 3 days in a row without sunspots, 280 for 2019, and we have tomorrow. So as long as we don't have a sunspot tomorrow, 281 will be the official spotless days in 2019. I missed the mark by 4. Mari overshot it by 3, and several others. Now, there are a few people out there. I know Simon Allen was one of those guys, too. He said 281, so there you go. Way to take a stab at it, and we at least got one person who guessed it right. Nevertheless, we were all pretty close, and that's to be expected with a group of people like you that follow this channel. You guys are pretty sharp, so I wouldn't expect any different. The TCI has dropped down to 2.69. Now, we reported on this last time was 2.89. This is a significant drop, and this is probably the lowest I've seen the TCI since I started tracking this here just a couple months ago. So the record is 2.05, and that was set back in February of 2009. So right now, as it continues, we appear to be there are a lot of things that are going to favor the continuing cold. One has to do with the position of our planet right now and the sun, and how the close approach that we will have on the 5th. After that, we will start pulling away. So we have a lot of things that are happening right now in favor that would expect temperatures to continue to fall on Earth's climate. Solar wind stream is expected by January 1st and 2nd. They moved that from originally around the 31st. Now they're saying more like the 1st or the 2nd. We could see minor coronal hole action from that. Maybe 400s, low 500 kilometers per second. No geomagnetic activity to be expected with this. All right, let's check out some weather. First, we'll start across the pond with our friends in the UK. And that's not it. There we go. All right, so we've got rain moving across Scotland right now. The UK actually seems pretty dry. We got parts of Western Ireland also receiving rain showers right now. All in all, not a bad day. Of course, snow in Norway. That when doesn't it snow, it seems like. All right, so let's take a look at our extended forecast for today. Heavy clouds and fog patches will be in the south. Slow to clear in places, but some sunshine in central parts and locally very mild. Rain moving southwards across northern Britain, followed by some sun and much colder weather. That's for the UK. Now tonight, plenty of clouds and patchy light rain will become slow moving across central parts. Clear skies in the north with a good chance for some frost as well. Clouds and fog affecting the southern areas as well. And then here on Tuesday, dry with plenty of sunshine after a frosty start. Clouds and some fog, drizzle in places as well. Some showery rain for the far southwest. And the outlook for Wednesday to Friday, mostly dry Wednesday with fog. This is New Year's Day now. Calling for fog and frost in parts of northern England. A spell of wet and windy weather sweeps southeast Thursday and early Friday, followed by sunshine and rain after that to Friday. All right, and our flood warnings are going down here across the pond. That's a good sign. Right now we're sitting at 51. 27 flood warnings right now. 6 have been removed. So all in all, things are starting to calm down and dry out just a little bit for the folks across the pond. All right, let's take a look at Winter Storm Gage. This thing is still going. Parts of the upper Midwest, and I was looking at the radar before I started the broadcast, and I'd really like for this to go into motion. That would be great. Thanks, radar, for working out for me here. Anyway, I would not want to be in northern part of Michigan at this time. We are seeing an abundance of moisture And the cold temperatures are quickly changing all of that to snow. So look at all of the oranges and the reds that are traveling through Michigan right now, especially if you live west of Traverse City. You guys are going to see some intense snowfall here. That cold air is settling in, and some heavy snow is expected for the region here in northern Michigan. Also parts of Wisconsin. As temperatures continue to fall, we'll see more heavy snow fall in that state, more on the eastern side, the northeastern side. And of course, in the northeast, we're dealing with this rain slash sleet slash freezing rain slash snow flurries. As I look out my window, I see the need for rain slickers. We were forecasted to be in the a quarter of an inch to a half inch of ice in this particular part of upstate New York. Right now, I gotta say that we have mostly rain, but we are starting to see that change over to ice as the surfaces I know in our driveway are starting to freeze over. So this is the part of the day where we thought we would start seeing the heavier icing. Still, guys, a quarter of an inch is enough to take out the power. A half inch could cause some problems. Of course, nothing as bad as what we had in Plattsburgh, New York back in 1998, where we got 3 inches of ice. That's further upstate New York, guys. 3 inches of ice. Power lines were dragged down. Power poles were dragged down because of this. Houses were destroyed. A friend of mine here in the area I was telling him a possibility about an inch of ice out here, you know, a pretty big deal. And then he shoots me the information about the 98 storm, and that was insane. So thankfully, nothing like that. But the ice has been falling in Plattsburgh over the past several hours, and will continue to do so as temperatures will continue to drop here in upstate New York, and more moisture will continue to flow in. And this storm, folks, here in the Northeast, we are expected to be in this storm warning up until Tuesday at 1 p.m. All right, so let's take a look at what the Weather Channel is saying so far. We'll give a full report on this tonight, but wind gusts over 60 miles per hour knocked out power to tens of thousands so far. On Sunday, the storm made travel treacherous across much of the plains. Fargo, North Dakota issued a rare no travel advisory, and the bad weather has contributed to at least 2 deaths so far. High winds from the winter storm sweeping across the nation have caused tens of thousands of Ohio customers to lose electricity Monday morning. Blackouts have hit more than 125,000 homes and businesses, according to poweroutage.us. Steady winds began blowing between 20 and 30 miles per hour Monday, gusts reaching 50 to 70 miles an hour from the southwest to the central and the northeast parts of Ohio, including Dayton, Columbus, and Cleveland. The strong winds were associated with a cold front moving through the state. Maybe they'll bring a head coach along with those heavy winds today in Cleveland. Anyway, down power lines forced the closure of State Road 56 in both directions in Madison County, according to the Ohio Department of Transportation, or as we call them, ODOT. A portion of State Route 601 was closed for about an hour because of a tree on a power line in Erie County. Farther east, the storm, which the Weather Channel is calling Winter Storm Gage, is bringing ice and snow to parts of New York and New England. Look at that. Not here yet. This is Plainfield, Massachusetts, where this image is from. Shout out to Jason. Be careful going in today. It's going to be extremely slick there in the Berkshires. On Sunday, the storm caused crashes and rollovers and led to road closings across much of the plains. Snow covered most of the roads in the west, north, and central Nebraska, the State Patrol said. A multi-vehicle crash shut down Interstate 80 near Ashland, Nebraska for more than an hour shortly after noon. The Minnesota Department of Transportation issued no travel advisory on the state or in federal highways in Clay, Becker, and Polk counties and northern portions of the Otter Tail County. The advisory also applied to Highway 108 from Interstate 94 to Pelican Rapids and I-94 from Moorhead to Highway 108 and Highway 10 from Moorhead to Hawley. And just a plethora of road closures and travel bans and, look, whiteout conditions. Folks, if you don't have to drive, don't go anywhere today. I know Mario was smart. We got some supplies a couple days ago, and we were ready for this storm for yesterday, today, and parts of the morning tomorrow. I have a pretty good feeling this thing will be wrapped up by late tonight here on at least in upstate New York at this point. So with that being said, there's the ice map. We are in that area where they are expecting the yellow. And right now, this could change. And I say this because we've seen a lot more rain than ice. And once again, I'll take a peek. Not that it's changed anyway. But yeah, we've seen a lot more rain than ice, a lot more puddling right now. If anything, a flood advisory might almost be necessary for parts. But the maximum amount of ice that's going to fall to this storm right now, according to this map, is 0.519, which is a half inch. It is still power outage causing, but it is nowhere near extreme as what some forecasters thought this could have been. So in a way, we dodged a bullet, but we still have to be careful today on the roads and tomorrow morning. Black ice overnight is going to be a concern as well. And let's take a look at our national weather watches. Minnesota, you know, I'm surprised that Michigan, parts of Michigan don't have a winter storm warning, but I also understand that their qualifications for a winter storm is a lot different than what we see in some parts of the United States, like considering Dayton, Ohio, for instance. If you're getting 6 inches of snow, you're going to see a storm warning. Michigan sees 6 inches of snow on a regular basis, so they're going to be a little more ready for this, and it's not going to be quick to call the storm warning out there. But much of the country kind of quiet unless you live in the north part, northern plains, northeast. Other than that, pretty boring and dry day. There's our ridge and fridge. That cold air coming right behind it. That's what's going to bring us the snow later today here in the northeast and into tomorrow as well. And there's your wind chill temperatures. Pretty cold across the northern plains and the central part of the United States as that cold front is starting to sweep through right now as we speak. The western Ohio, western Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi getting in on the action. Parts of northeast Texas now looking at 32 degrees, 31 degrees, freezing temperatures wind chill wise. So there's your cold. It's starting to filter in. Here's what NOAA thinks is going to happen over the next several days. Not good here in the northeast, especially upstate New York. Heavy snow for Cheryl and Thor. You guys will be on the lookout for some heavy accumulations there. Also parts of Wisconsin and the northwest Michigan area could expect heavy snow. I'm going to expand that to the upper part of Michigan near Traverse City, Interlochen. Those particular areas should see some increased snow amounts as well. Cold front on the way behind it. Makes it all snow by tomorrow, New Year's Eve, and more frozen precip and rain in the northwest, of course. And then, of course, the wintry weather will pick back up on the first of the year, January 1st, that is, 2020. Snow in the northeast, snow in the four quarter states, snow in the northern plains, and heavy snow in Idaho, Montana, Washington, and Oregon. Rain along the coast. The only place we're going to see is dry is our heartland, our farmland, Nebraska, Kansas, Iowa, Missouri, Illinois. Most of us will stay dry all day on New Year's Day. Let's take a look at our GFS outlook. And, we're going to get chances for another storm like this next week. But the Northeast and the Northwest, right now, in my opinion, are seeing the majority of the winter so far, this early part. 3 systems moving through the Northeast. The upstate New York region will have chances of more snow. Here's a 4th system by January 10th. Another doozy coming our way probably by the 13th. We've been talking about a storm between the 11th and 13th for a while. This one right now, we're going to be in another ridge and fridge. So right now, it is going to be all rain, but this could change. We are expecting much, much colder air to affect the region starting in the middle of January. And let's just take a quick look. I know we'll go over all this tonight too on the hour show. And just kind of looking at what is coming our way cold-wise. There's a ridge and fridge. Here comes more cold air filter in. Not a big of a blast as we thought originally. Another quick mild spell, and then here comes some more Arctic colder air. Now it's going to affect more of the Northeast than we originally thought as well than it is the northern plains. Here we are January 8th. Some of that real Arctic frigid air is trying to filter in. I know we'll be feeling it here in upstate New York, Vermont, and Maine. Parts of North Dakota and South Dakota get cold too on the end of the day on the 9th. And then the 10th, more cold air trying to penetrate the lower 48. But so far, folks, things can change. Right now, we are seeing a huge cold front moving this way on January 15th. Perhaps that might be the streak that will start bringing the extreme cold weather. Right now, it is pretty much behaving itself. But winter is far from over, and this forecast, let's say we can rely on it to about here. For the most part. This is pretty accurate up until this. So let's go from now to the 4th. This is what we could expect. And this is why NOAA thinks we're going to have above average temperatures. Average-wise, maybe. Maybe, because we are seeing some 30s and 40s a couple of different times by the time we get to January 4th. So, the ridge and fridge is what we'll continue to call it. Joe Bastardi coined that phrase. I like it. And we're seeing a lot of ridging and a lot of fridging. And it's only the first 2 weeks of January too, so let's keep that in mind as well. Let me take a look at one more region before I let you guys go for your day. I know it's that time of the week, the beginning. Oh boy. Yeah, so colder air will make its way. Right now it's bottled up in the Arctic, which is fine. Keep it up there in the Arctic as far as I'm concerned. But we will start to see this really Arctic colder air start to spread further south, closer towards the middle of January, as to me, this image here starts to show that we could see a lot more colder weather to invade the U.S. By the mid part of January, like we said, between the 15th and the 22nd, somewhere in that region, we should start seeing things getting really wild as far as cold air and snow. But we're already seeing plenty of winter precipitation as we speak right now. And folks, the good news about this, especially for Mari and I, is that the temperatures are not cooperating up here. And that purple sleet, I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, that's just all plain rain, because looking outside right now, I don't see anything frozen dropping right now. So out of the woods for now, but if you live in Burlington, Montpelier, Claremont, New Hampshire, Rutland, you guys are definitely in the icing part. Is Perth in Canada near Ottawa, definitely getting some ice. Ottawa also in the middle of this heavy icing event right now. But Capital Region, Albany and southward, very spotty rain, very spotty sleet. So nothing to be too concerned. Just kind of take your time on the roads. But for the most part, guys, this storm is far from over. The warning goes through about 1 p.m. Tuesday here through upstate New York. And we will continue to monitor this storm. If there's any breaking updates, we will come across today. But until then, we will talk tonight at 9 p.m. with a full report on Winter Storm Gage. And we will see, hopefully we have power too at this point. They're expecting power outages here in this region. So hopefully we don't have to do a show from the cell phone. All right, guys, have a great day today, and we will talk soon.
Do you like this show? Give us a thumbs up. Want to support us more? Share to your favorite social media platform. Buy a t-shirt or become a Patreon. All links are in the description below.